I want to thank you for joining us this weekend at Living Creek. We're in a series of messages entitled Unlocked, Prayer is the Key. Have you ever faced a situation where someone in your circle of friends or your family, they're just a little bit awkward because of maybe their beliefs or maybe their customs or maybe their diet? I had that experience recently. I've been part of a men's group that was connected from Living Creek, a group of 8 men. And we did a study together, and we wrapped up our study back in the summer, and we had one of our last meetings, and we had done several of those since March on Zoom. And one of our brothers, Phil Agilio, was on the screen in the Zoom part of the meeting, and he offered to have an end-of-the-year cookout that we had been talking about having at his house. But the only problem was Phil said, "I have to tell you guys, I'm vegan." And I have to tell you, when he said that, something inside me just sank. Like, really? We're going to have a guys cookout, end of the year celebration, and the guy hosting it's a vegan. I mean, are we going to be eating kale burgers? I was really concerned. He promised we'd have meat, and so just this last week we finally got to have the cookout, and I was at Phil's house, and I got there early and asked if I could help cook something or actually do the grilling. And when I got there, I saw all kinds of vegetables from their garden, and I was so happy when Phil said, "Oh, and I'm going to be eating meat too. I'm eating meat again." And so I was much happier about that. And he had some of the freshest brats I've had. They're very good. And one of the 2 kinds we had jalapeno and cheese in them. So any of you that are concerned about my diet, yes, I had vegetables that night. But have you ever been at the place where it's a little bit more awkward than that? The house behind me is for sale right now, and it belongs to a pastor. And we had met a few times and said hi, but we didn't get to talk at length until one day we met at a Christian school, and it explained a lot to me. Because I noticed that on Saturdays, his children wouldn't be out playing, and there was nobody around on Saturday mornings. And then I also noticed that he never grilled anything. And I just thought maybe he's just not into cooking or grilling. And so I just thought that's fine. And then that day that we met, he told me he's the pastor of a Seventh-day Adventist church. And I thought, oh, that makes sense, because Seventh-day Adventists worship on Saturday as the Sabbath for the 7th day of the week, for a day of rest and a day of worship, where the Greek world and those that came into the Greek world into the church worshiped on the 1st day of the week, celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. And then I also remembered, oh yeah, Seventh-day Adventists are also vegetarian. And it started concerning me anytime I would come out on the weekend, especially on Saturday, and I'd be cooking up the meat, and the smoke from the grill would be going up into their yard. And I got concerned. Am I causing him to stumble because he really likes meat personally, but because of his beliefs, it doesn't allow him to eat meat? Or am I causing him to judge me because I'm this heathen down here that's cooking up all this meat? And I'm not so concerned about that in my relationship with him, because I know that he trusts Jesus Christ for his salvation. Some of those things are non-essential for salvation. Here's what I'm concerned about for me and for you to ask today and for this weekend, as we study a story where God took 2 foreigners with different customs, languages, and even diets, and he put them together as an answer to prayer. And as we consider that story, how far would you go to help see somebody who is far from God become a follower of Jesus Christ?